process in memory, process state, and process transition diagram, and process control block. So these three topics I have discussed earlier in Unit 2: process concept, process in memory, and process state. So here I am just giving a very quick review about the process. Okay. So as you know that what is process? Process is nothing but it's a executable code. Okay, or any program or any program which is in execution is called process. Okay, so process execution must progress in sequential function in multiple parts. Okay, as I have discussed many times that program is a passive entity, whereas process is a uh, is active entity, or you can say it's a program is a executable file, but not in the in execution state, but process is in execution. Okay, so when a program which is stored in secondary memory fetched from secondary memory to RAM, and it becomes uh, executable. Okay, or when process executing that particular program, that becomes process. Clear? So I have discussed a lot about process. So uh, I have discussed this figure also, that uh, how a process looks like in memory, or you can say how a process is stored in memory basically. So in a program code there is a text section. Okay, there is a uh, program counter. I have discussed that what is program counter. It means that when a process is running, so a process itself tells that what is the next process. Okay, yeah, what is the next instruction to be executed, because ultimately what happened ki there is a process is in running, but in that particular process there is operation is there are multiple instructions are there, in which one single instruction is uh, executing. In a single instruction there are multiple micro operations. Okay, and ultimately one micro operation is executed. Okay, so program counters tells that which process to be next. Okay, or which or what next instruction to be executed. Okay, there is a stack. All these things are implemented through stack. Okay, so there are function parameter, return address, local variables, data section, and heap. Okay, it's a heap is a dynamic memory allocated during runtime. Okay, so this is the memory. This is the structure of process in the memory. When a process is stored in memory, so there must be function parameter. There must be return address. Means after completing that particular instruction, okay, where it have to go, means it have to go in RAM, it have to go to secondary memory or else. Okay, and the local variables of the process. Then there is a data section which contains the global variable, and you can say that this may be critical section of that particular process. Okay, so this is the process in memory. I have also discussed process state. When a process comes into the existence, means when a program comes fetched from secondary memory to RAM. Okay, it is become or you can say, or it is ready to execute. Okay, so when a process is a new, means a new operation, or you can say a new program which is not stored into the RAM. When any program which is not stored into the RAM, when it is fetched from secondary memory to uh, main memory, it will be the new process. Okay, it will be the new process. So it means that the process is created. This is the first state. Okay. So and after when that particular process is stored into the RAM and it is waiting for the CPU. When CPU is allocated to that particular process, it will become into the running state. Means that process is being executed. Clear? During the running time or during the execution time, it does not mean that a process a CPU will always allocated with the process. It is not possible because a process have some different type of parameters, or there is a constant. Means it have to there is a mm, there is a requirement of resources, there is a requirement of keyboard, there is a requirement of a mouse and such type of thing. So it does not mean that a process is continuously executing. Okay, there must be some other constant which for which it may have to wait for its time. Okay, so or it may or the process is waiting for some event to occur. Some event to occur means just like that I have taken example that c is equal to a plus b. Okay, and I have written d is equal to c plus c. Means that until unless c is not executed, okay, you are not able to calculate the value of d. Okay, it means that that particular process must have to wait. So a process itself is not complete. Means that once CPU is allocated to it, it continue its execution and end it. Okay, it means that there are some constraints there. It must have to wait for memory, for variable, for peripheral devices, input devices, and so on. Okay, so uh, during its life cycle, it there are some constraints for which you have to wait. There are some events. Okay, so when the process is waiting for uh, some event to occur. So, and that event is fulfilled. Okay, that event is fulfilled to that particular process. Now, the process again becomes to ready state. Okay, ready state means that it is not waiting for anything. It is not engaged somewhere else. It is just waiting for CPU. Okay, because CPU is busy with some other process. Okay, so it is that state is called ready state. And when process completes its execution, that state is called terminated. So there are five states are there in for process. That one new state, running state, waiting state, ready state, and terminated state. Okay. So there are five states. So or you can say this is the life cycle of a process. Okay, it entered into the existence. It wait for an event. It is ready to execute and so on. Okay. So this is the process state. This is the process state diagram. Okay, so it is clear there are you know that there are five states. First one is new state, ready state, running state, waiting state, and terminated. So when a process comes into the existence, it is called new state. Then it is admitted and it becomes into the ready state. Ready state means all things, all necessary conditions are fulfilled. Now it is only waiting for CPU. Then it is in the ready state. Okay, all the schedulers are dispatched. Schedulers means that the the necessary requirements. Okay, the necessary requirements to execute this particular process. If it is fulfilled, then it CPU start running it. Okay, during the running state or during the execution, if any event occur, okay, event it needs any other resource, any other IO event, so it must have to wait. Okay, and it goes to waiting state. This is called waiting state. When IO event completed, okay, the process comes to ready state. Okay, again it is waiting for CPU only. Clear? There is, if it is running and it is not in a waiting state, it is not in a waiting state, some other event occur and interrupt it, means some high priority jobs come into the existence and CPU and that particular job preempt CPU. Okay, so that will become, that is called the interrupt process, means some other process interrupt into the execution process of that particular current process. Okay, this is called interrupt and it will, it come into the ready state. Okay. So there is a difference. IO event and interrupt is a both two are different things. Okay, what is the difference? The IO event wait, the waiting is waiting means that there is a requirement of process for execution of process. Okay, then it is called IO event. But it is an interrupt, there is no requirement of any resources or IO event to occur. Means some other process interrupt, high priority process or high priority jobs come into the existence so that the current process is for the time being, it is stopped. Okay, so this is called interrupt, means there is um, means some other process preempts CPU from this process. Then it is called interrupt, and that particular process become uh, in ready state. Okay, so this is called whole. This is the process state, and after when a process is running and it completes its execution, it exit. Okay, and that state is called terminated state. Okay. So I think it is clear that what is process state. Now come to process transition diagram. Process transition diagram means any process which is in execution state. Okay, is in execution state. Here you are saying that we are taking talking about only running state. Okay, this is the running state. So in between the execution state or a process is in running condition. Okay, so CPU is assigned, definitely it's to it. So if something preempted, if some process preempt CPU, it becomes runnable in memory. Means it is in waiting state and stored into the memory. Okay, but the condition is that it's a runnable state, runnable. Okay. Okay. So if it is again the CPU is assigned to it, it become running condition. Okay. Next thing, uh, if it is in memory, it is in primary memory, and it is runnable. It is in runnable condition. Runnable condition and running condition both are different things. Runnable condition means all requirements are fulfilled, but CPU is not available. Okay, that's why it is in runnable in memory. So runnable in RAM means that it is not, it is stored in RAM. So there is a activity called swap in and swap out, means that if any new process or other process which uh, which is to be stored in RAM and there is no space in RAM. Okay, there is no space in RAM. So what what uh, operating system is to be do? The operating system swap. Okay, or you can say for the time being. Okay, dislocate. Clear? dislocate that particular process from RAM to secondary. Okay, it means that uh, you can say that temporarily being or permanently being, you can say that the process which is in runnable state means CPU is not assigned to it and some other process enter into the RAM. Okay, so that particular process is moved from RAM to secondary memory to make space in RAM. Clear? That is, that activity is called swapped out. Means if any process which is in runnable condition, which is in runnable condition, if it is moved from RAM to hard disk, then it is called swap out. Okay, and when there is a space in RAM, so that runnable process is again moved from hard disk to RAM. This is called swapping condition. Okay, so it is very important factor, swap in, swap out. Swap in, swapped out means that any process which is in runnable condition, if it is moved from RAM to hard disk, then it is called swapped out, and any runnable process which is uh, moved from hard disk to RAM, it is called swap in process. Okay, here. So uh, this is clear now. Okay, any process is running. If processor is preempted, it stays changed to runnable in memory, means it is waiting and stored in memory with the tag, you can say it's a runnable. And if it is moved from RAM to secondary memory, then it is called swapped out. And if any process, runnable process, is stored in hard disk and it is moved from uh, hard disk to RAM, it is called swapping. Now come to this portion. Here, any process which is in running condition and and it is due to the programming infrastructure, or you can say any other requirement, it is waiting for some IO event, okay, or any event. Okay, so if it is waiting for a long time, it comes into sleep. Okay, so it again come into memory. Okay, in RAM. So here it is in a runnable condition, but it is in a sleeping condition because it's a long time waiting. Okay, so when long time waiting is finished. Okay, so its state become wake up. Okay, from sleep, means sleep से wake up condition में चला जाता है. ठीक, clear है. And again, if there is, if any process which wants to enter into the memory and there is no space in the memory, so it OS, what will OS do? If it sees that the process which is not in running condition, the process which is runnable condition or sleeping condition, it is moved from RAM to secondary memory, that is called swap out. But the condition, but the status of that particular process is always sleeping. Okay, sleeping swap. This activity is called sleeping swap. And this activity is called nullable swap, means runnable swap. So if a process is runnable condition, means as soon as CPU is allocated to any particular process and it start running, then it is called runnable status. Okay, clear? तो अब देखो क्या है कि if any process which is in a sleeping condition or stored in a sleeping mode into the RAM, and if it is moved from RAM to secondary memory, then it is called sleeping swap. Okay, so when it's sleeping finished, okay, so it is backup. उसको जगाया जाएगा कि now it's your turn. ठीक है, so that sleeping swap or that sleeping process is backup, and its status turns to runnable swap. Okay, and again you know that at that time. Clear? Then so this activity is called process transition diagram. Transition diagram means that we are just talking about transition phase. Okay, transition phase means where a process is executing any process, where the processor is executing any process, and during the execution or during the running, if anything happens or any type of status is changed, then it is called process transition diagram. Okay, this is called process transition diagram. So here we are not talking about exit, we are not talking about suspended and so on. Okay, we are just talking about swap in and swap out. Okay, it means that if a process is ready to execute, but due to the unavailability of the CPU, it is not in a executing phase. Okay, so this is called runnable in memory. Okay, and any process which is not in running status, okay, means it is not in this process is not currently executed. Okay, but and and it is also not waiting for CPU, means it is in sleep condition. Okay, so it is called sleeping phase. So this is whole is called process transition diagram. Now come to process control block. Process control block is very much important uh, part. Okay, so nowadays uh, it is very much important part. So if you are seeing any home appliances system in your house, you are seeing fridge, you are seeing AC, you are seeing washing machine and so on. There is a embedded system. Okay, there is a processor, there is a microcontrol, and there is a process control block where which process is to be executed, all history or you can say all status, or you can say uh, all type of behavior are stored. Okay, so this is called process control block. So means the block which controls process is called process control block. It means that for controlling anything, you must have the knowledge of each and everything related to that process. Okay, so process control block is nothing but it's a data structure that contains information of the process related to it. The main part is that it is a data structure that contains information of the process related to it. The process control block is also known as a task control block, entry of the process table, and extras. Okay, so you can say task control block, you can say process control block, or entry to the process table. So in a layman manner, in a general form, you can say that process control block is nothing. It's a storage area which stores each and every bit of information related to process. Yeah. So it is a very important for process management, as the data structuring for process is done in terms of PCB. It also defines the current status of operating system. It also defines the current status of the operating system. Clear? So as you see here that the structure of process control block is shown here. The first part is process ID, means if there are various processes are there, so definitely you have to distinguish, you have to differentiate all these processes. Okay, so you have to create an ID for each process, means process 1, process 2, process 3, process 4, and so on. Means you have to differentiate. Otherwise, if you named all the process in the same manner, you are not able to distinguish. You are okay. So first one is the process ID. It's a unique identity of the process. Each process is identified with the help of process ID. Each process is identified with the help of process ID. Clear? So each process has its own ID. Okay, and it is done by operating system. Clear? Now come to process state. Process state means you have to tell that if a process is there, what is the state of that particular process, whether it is a new state, whether it's a running state, whether it's a waiting state, whether it's a terminated state, and so on. Means whatever I have discussed about the process state, which state in is in that particular process. Okay. So a process can be in any state of the possible state of a process. So the CPU needs to know about the current status of process so that execution can be done. Okay. So there is a each process control, each process have its own control. Okay. So if a processor wants to execute any process, it have to see that what is the state of the process. Accordingly, it performs. Now come to priority. Okay, definitely it's a very important part because each process has their own way. Just like that, there is a two type of job. First one is IO bound job and CPU bound job. CPU related process and IO related process. So definitely the process which is CPU generated process or CPU related process, the CPU bound process has more priority over the IO. Okay. Means if CPU is executing and CPU demands something from it. Okay. So definitely our CPU generated. So this is definitely we have to set the there are multiple processes are there and all processors are in runnable condition. Okay, means they are waiting condition and they are waiting for the CPU. So among all these processes, it is difficult for the CPU if CPU is not assigned the priority, so it is very much difficult to CPU that each process, each process, or each take or execute. So if you know that the priority of the process, so it moves directly to that process. There are 10 processes, and all are in running condition, runnable condition, or all are in waiting status. Okay. So the process which have the highest priority, it must be allocated with the CPU for priority. So there is a priority associated with this process. Based on that priority, the CPU finds which process is to executed first. Higher priority process will. Yeah. Then come to accounting information. Yeah, definitely, waste maintain that information, accounting information. So this field TCP gives the account description of the resources used by that process. Means which type of events occur in that particular process. All type of events, uh, all the information of all events are stored. That's why it is called accounting. Okay. So how much time to execute? How much? What is the time to wait? What is the time to arrive into the CPU? How much time it will take to pick the resource? Okay, and how much time it pass with the resources and so on. So all type of necessary information. Then come to program counter, as I have told that it's a pointer to an instruction in the program or code that is to be executed. So program counter, just like that, its name shows, it's a program counter means it counts the program. Means if any process which is currently executed after completing, which will be the next process. So it is done by program. This will contain the address of the next instruction that will be executed in. Then CPU register, there are multiple CPU registers. Okay. So which register it wants to occupy? So whenever an interrupt occurs and there is a conflict between the process, the temporary information is stored in the register so that when process resumes the execution, it correctly brings from the CPU. CPU register are used to hold those temporary values. It is used because of there are multiple CPU registers. It is used because uh, for when a process enters into the system, it does not mean that when it occupy the process after till the execution of that particular process, CPU will be allocated to it. Okay. The processor is switching from one process to another process. So, if processor leaves to a particular process and after a certain period of time, a processor have to return back to that particular process. So definitely there must be some identification process must be done where at the time at the time when processor leaves that particular process, where what is the actual position there. Okay. So this is called CPU register. तो सीपीयू रजिस्टर होल्ड द टेम्परेरी वैल्यू. जैसे क्या होगा ना कि प्रोसेसर क्या है कि एक प्रोसेस को जब उसने स्विच किया, ठीक है, तो when it switches from a particular process, what was the surrounding, what was the environment, उस समय क्या था, ठीक है, what was the actual situation at that time. Okay, so it shows the actual situation of the process when it leaves it. Okay, when the processor returns back, so it does not have to work out where I have to start. Okay, this is done by CPU. Okay. Attendance दे देना बच्चों को लोग. Now come to PCB pointer. PCB pointers means process control block pointer. ठीक है, तो अब as you know that a processor is switching from one process to another process. So it means that processor is switching from one process control block to another process control block. So all process control block is linked. Okay. So this link is done by pointers. Okay. So in this field, this is the field where the pointer has an address of the next process control block. Means a CPU is here. Okay. And when it executes or whatever, so CPU pointers tell if the processor have to move to that particular processor. Okay, so it gives the address of next CPU, okay, which process state is. But the condition is that the pointer which is dictates. Okay, it does not mean that it's a static; it's a dynamically changing time to time. Okay, so it indicates or it gives the address of that particular process which is in waiting state. Okay, it does not mean that it indicates the process control block which is in a waiting state or it's a runnable state. Okay. Yeah. So in this way, operating system maintains the hierarchy of all process so that a parent process could locate all the child of process it creates. Apart from these there are some other fields are also there. List of open files means for a particular process, what files are open or which type of how many files are attached to that particular process. This information includes the list of IO devices used by a process or list of second. Second one is the event information. Okay. So this will contain the information of the event for which the certain process is logged. When whenever the event occurs, the operating system identifies the process awaiting for this event using this field. If the event occur matched with this field, the process changes from log to read. Means that if any process is logged for due to certain reason. Okay. So event information. Event information fields inform that type of process control block is the lock state. Lock state means due to some reason the processor have or operating system have locked. So it is done just because of definite time waiting or such type of waiting a where a process wants to occupy a resource. Okay, and that particular resource is occupied by some higher priority. So for the time being, it comes into the block state. Okay, so when all things comes into the favorable, so it is changed to block to ready state. So I think everyone has given. So next class I will start CPU scheduling. So there are two things are left. I think I will cover it. So on my side, if everyone has given attendance, they can